Okay, so we're turning to GAA now. Littlewoods Ireland are launching their Style Meets Substance campaign. It's their 4th year, Littlewoods Ireland, running as a top-tier sponsor, and the campaign this year is called Style Meets Substance. Limerick's Cian Lynch is part of it. There was a unique photo shoot in Patrick's Well, Limerick, in his county kit, as well as some sportswear from Littlewoods Ireland today, which I'm sure you'll be seeing soon. Cian Lynch, good to talk to you. How's things?
Great, no, Joe. Delighted to be here.
Good to have you. Free gear from Littlewoods Ireland. That's a good day.
No, it was great. And as you said, it's Style Meets Substance, a great initiative. And I suppose about bringing people together, bringing joy to people, especially everyone in the hurling kind of background. And I suppose especially now more than ever, people are looking for that bit of joy and that bit of togetherness, whatever way it may be. So I have my own new top on, so just rubbing up.
Delighted with himself.
Delighted.
So how's the form? These are obviously strange times. I should say as well, there is the small matter of Clare in a Munster quarter-final this Sunday. It is all going ahead despite the country heading into level 5. So how's the form? How are you feeling about all that?
Good, I suppose. Grateful is probably the word I'd use, that we're still able to go training and we're able to get out and play. And I suppose back to the mental side of things, it's massive for us players to keep going, but just for families and sports in general, it's something that they can hold on to now for the next few weeks. And even saw it last weekend with the football back, just it sparks new conversation and new topics to talk about the different games, and it's great. So grateful.
Yeah, it's probably a great word to use, actually, because there's a full spectrum, I'm sure, out there. We saw that in the GPA vote, where some players weren't so sure and others wanted the protocols to improve and others were gung-ho and desperate to get out there and do their thing. Like Bevan Duffy from Louth, the footballer, was talking over the weekend, and you know, he was one of those in the unsure bracket. He was saying lots of lads are doing different jobs, be it teachers or frontline, and lots of them live at home with their parents, elderly parents. And, you know, he felt the testing wasn't enough and all of these worries. And I think they're very understandable worries. And you hope too many guys aren't out there feeling stressful about this situation.
Yeah, I suppose, come here, like, it's very easy for us all to have an opinion, but it's just every household differs and every background differs, I suppose, and we need to be open to that as well. And I know I'm saying I'm grateful to be back, but other scenarios could be totally different. They're going home to a family member that might be vulnerable and might be isolating, so you just don't know. But I suppose just appreciating each other's opinions and appreciating each other's backgrounds, and whatever a person feels comfortable doing, we just all have to be open to respecting that. And I suppose for us personally, like, I know most county setups are doing everything right and by the book and as per the government and GA guidelines, which is great. And it's a massive safeguard to go training knowing that, like, and being able to come home knowing you're sanitised, you've worn your mask and you're driving on your own. So it's good. It's more stuff for the mindset, just to stay on the ball, you know.
I do think as well, I do suspect that if a player was unsure or uncertain about proceeding, that his team would be supportive. I don't think a fella would be pressurised. I do suspect people understand how serious it can be for different individuals.
Yeah, come here, like, that's obviously the fear with any player. It's just how people might take it. But I suppose, like, we're all mature enough and educated enough to understand what's going on and the harsh reality of it. And come here, if anyone doesn't feel comfortable, we will support each other and we will help each other in any way possible. And I think the word support is huge in the current climate, whether it's got to do with the GA, but just in general, like, with the new restrictions, we just all have to look out for each other and stay in touch and be mindful that everyone is going through their own little bit at home as well. Like,
what's an average evening's training like then, Cian, with all the protocol?
I suppose it's driving back to Rathkeil or the Gaelic grounds, and you drive on your own, obviously. Whereas before you'd kind of carpool with, I'd go to five of us from Patrick's Well, and you're just going in, you're wearing your mask. You can't be all in the dressing room together. There's no showering, and everyone's just accountable. Like, and as I said, I go back to just, we're all mature enough to understand our actions could affect not only ourselves, but it's the knock-on effect it has. So just being mindful of that, but just appreciating every moment we can to get out and train, and we can have the laugh when we're training, then, and just take our minds off what's going on.
Yeah, almost like a weight coming off when you get onto the thing. Say, relax. What's the crack this Sunday at Thurles then? Will you all drive separately as well?
Yeah, I presume that's the way it'll happen. Just the way we've been going to train, and just drive in our own individual cars and get there and tug out probably whatever in the stand maybe and just out on the pitch. But look, that's something we've all kind of been doing anyway with the club championship, and not really changes there. So every county is on the same kind of level, and everyone knows what's expected of lads. You have to do it right. Like, at the end of the day, sport is brilliant and hurling's a great outlet, but we have to mind our families and the knock-on effect too. Like,
what impact, if any, do you think the no crowds will have on a championship match on Sunday and beyond?
I suppose you'd obviously miss them in the atmosphere and all that, but I suppose it's just as important for the fans to be able to watch it on telly as it is to be there in person. So, like, the club championships went down without fans and it went down great. So it's just, you just have to, as a player, you have to get on with it and do the best you can and let all those kind of side shows look after themselves. Like,
do you try and feed off a crowd when a crowd is there?
No, you try and just focus on the task at hand and focus on the game, I suppose, because you can't be dependent on someone in the crowd to get you going. Like, so it's just being focused, really.
And how is the fitness this year? So in comparison with a normal year in advance of championship start in May time, how's the body now? How's the sharpness?
You'd like to think we're fit anyway. But, no, like, being back at the club was massive, and we had a great foundation laid there at the club. I know we weren't as successful as we might have liked, but we get great training done, and it was nice to have a bit of continuation going into the county setup then and getting back on the horse and driving on. And look, everyone, as I said, everyone's on the same boat. Like, there's no team that's going to be that haven't been training. We're all back at the same time doing the same thing. So it's just being mindful and grateful that we're able to get out and do it.
How has this year been for you? How was lockdown, for instance, across April and May?
Grand was, like, obviously the first week or two was kind of a novelty for everyone, not really know what was happening or whatever. But after a while, then perspective starts coming and you start realising how much you actually miss the rushing and race and how much you miss going training and you miss meeting the lads. And I was working from home as well, and I used to just get up, go for an all morning walk, watch a bit of mass, and just set myself up for the day and just remain positive. Like, that's all we can really do, is just stay thinking positively and just looking out for one another.
And what was working?
Uni jobs there, it's in recruitment. So luckily enough, we were able to work away remotely and it was fine. And in the last few weeks then, we were kind of back in pods, kind of 2 or 3 days a week. So it was great, and they were brilliant, very helpful if anything I needed personally or along those lines. So, and I went back and started the secondary teaching then in September as well. So it's all go.
Right, okay. And are you in teaching now?
Yeah, I'm doing the Masters there in Religion and Geography in NUIG.
Okay. Why teaching? What drew you to that?
I don't know, I think now more than ever, I think youngsters need guidance and need a bit of structure in their lives, and it's great that they're still in school and they have that to be able to get out and go to every day. But for me personally, it's nice to be able to help a kid along the way, whether it's in the classroom or just being that person they can offload stuff to. So, kind of it.
Right. And the summer holidays are nice.
Yeah, we can't say that though.
Did you have a teacher that you really liked growing up? Was there one that stood out?
I suppose, yeah, like in primary school there, we had Mr. Cian Crowe and Mr. Paul O'Connor, and these were great kind of influential characters that would guide you in the right way. And I suppose going on to our school each then, you would like some Mr. Niall Crowe, Mr. Niall Moore, like ex-Limerick hurler, and these guys who just guide you, I know in a sporting front, but also in a faith front and just supportive manner. I know Mr. Pat Walsh there as well, who's currently reaches his hand out if I ever need anything in regards to the Masters I'm doing. So they're all very good, and I'd love to be able to do that to some young fella or young girl, you know. Yeah,
I mean, it's a lovely thought. I suspect a lot of the great teachers we've all had don't realise the impact that they have had on so many people, you know. They kind of take it for granted, or it's not like we ring them up and tell them years later, geez, I really appreciated all that.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, but at the end of the day, we always kind of have that teacher we look back and say, geez, he or she was a great help.
Yeah. So you mentioned Mass there, and you mentioned religion. That's obviously a big part of your life.
Yeah, it is. I think faith, like, I'm not one to be forced on religion on anyone, but I just think faith and having faith in something is huge, and especially in the current climate. I think a lot of the time we can always look to the negative side of things or the bleak side of things, but just have something to hold on to. And if it's saying a few prayers or listen to a bit of reflections on Mass or something along those lines, a great way to stay grounded and stay in the here and now. And
have you always had a strong faith?
Yeah, I kind of have. Like, from a young age there, the parents, my mother and father, used to bring us to Mass every week, and it's kind of something I've continued to do every Sunday. And I know now it's gone back online. So just try and stay in touch as much as possible.
Okay. So during lockdown, it was mass online almost most days or every day?
Yeah, kind of most days. Like even a lot of the time I might be tuned into it, but it's kind of a routine more than anything. Just a way of getting off focus in the mind and getting your mind off any worries or stresses that you might have. Like,
okay, it's almost your version of meditation or mindfulness, grounding yourself. How did you find studying religion then? I presume that's all religions, is it, or is that just Catholicism?
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I wouldn't be one to be forcing religion on anyone, but it's more looking at the wider world religions and different types, because like we have to be open, especially in the current society. We're kind of interlinked with every country in the world, so it's nice to have a bit of knowledge and background on different kids that might be in the school, their faith and their beliefs. So it's important, but it's interesting.
Well, there's no reason they can't live side by side as well, I guess.
Exactly,
and in the main, it's about generally just trying to be a good person, isn't it?
That's good moral.
Spread. Did any of the religions, the other religions that you studied, catch your eye or catch your interest, or did you think, geez, this is, I'm enjoying this?
I suppose I have to be careful. Yeah, they're all very, very interesting. They all have their own background, their own story, but those all come off the basis of living a good moral life. And I suppose Judaism is kind of one that we've been looking at recently. It's just interesting to try and keep your mind open and have an open mind and be able to kind of delve into other kind of people's views and outlooks.
And come here, what are the rules before praying to a match? You can't ask God to pick sides. I mean, what? Let me do my best. Is that what you go with?
Like to know what you said, to know what this said.
He's a Limerick man deep down. That's
hopefully.
And if you ring that parish priest or a former teacher or whoever you class as a mentor, how often would hurling be amongst the things that are stressing you out or on your mind? Like where is that in the hierarchy of worries or things that you might pick up the phone to talk about?
Kind of the first thing we talk about, I know I'm ringing Father Mike Cusson, the local priest, will be hurling, but it's just general chat, no, come here, there's no point really getting worried and bogged down about sport or getting stressed over, because at the end of the day, life does go on outside it, and there's a lot more important things going on in a lot of people's lives, and there's a lot more worries in people's lives. But it is great to have sport to just forget about what is going on, just to chat away, and it's nice to offload to normal things,
Because anytime I watch you, you're a joy to watch. You look like you're throwing yourself into it is the best way to maybe put it on a pitch. You don't look like a player who's weighed down with worries or what if that goes wrong or I don't want to try this. That's how it looks. You could be as nervous. You could be nervous as hell for all I know and feeling tight as hell, but that's how it looks on the outside. I don't know what it's like when you're on a pitch, 20 minutes into a game when you're settled into it. I don't know what that feels like for you.
No, obviously, come here, it's only natural for any player, young or old or male or female, to be nervous and to be anxious playing a game, because you spend so much time playing it, you want to be the best at it and you want to do the best you can. But I suppose I always try and emphasise the fact of myself that there is more to life, and there's no point getting worked up over little things. Like a loss is huge and we take it as grief, and it does take weeks to get over, but after the few weeks you realise, look, perspective is everything, and just realise that I'm able to come home, I'm able to be greeted at the door by my mother and father. So they're the special moments you have to appreciate. Well,
isn't one of the great photos of the last however many years you and your mum hugging on the pitch at Croke Park? As a great...
Yeah. In fairness to her, she got on. I don't know how, but that's what it's about. It's about, I know they can't go to the games now, but they still have something to hold on to, and they're able to sit down and watch a few games and be a part of it.
Look, what would Shane Dowling give to be out there?
That's the other side of it, poor old Shane, young fella, and he can't play, so it just shows you we don't know what's around the corner, so live in the moment and enjoy every time we go up to the pitch.
How would you analyse your game yourself, Cian? Would you target certain areas you want to improve? Would you think about a game in the days afterwards and go, that's good? Maybe you some examples you could give me, be it point taken or hitting off your weaker side or whatever. How do you judge yourself? What kind of boxes do you take or put
I suppose you kind of judge yourself off the team performance really, and how you can help in any way possible to get the team performance. And whether it's that's passing the ball off or getting a score or winning a ball, it's just for the greater good. Like, you know, any player can go out and on any given day they might play well, but the team performance isn't up to scratch, so it's not really worth the end result. So you want to do the best you can for the team and for the greater good, if that makes sense.
No, total sense, yeah. Would you be a big man for looking at stats, your own stats?
I wouldn't. I suppose you would know the way it's gone. You really have to, and you have to delve into how you can improve yourself for the betterment of the team. But at times you can end up over-analysing yourself and get too worked up over little mistakes you might be making, and you could end up making the same mistakes over and over again if you keep looking at them. But it is very important.
Yeah. What's that Anthony Daly line? You know, 1,000 mad things happen and then at the end someone wins, and that's hurling. Like, it's probably is a game where I don't know how much you benefit sometimes for over-analysing, you know. It's so you're so reactive out there.
Yeah, a lot of instinct, really. That's what I say about hurling.
Are you enjoying your hurling as much as ever then?
Yeah, I suppose it's more so being back involved with your mates and being a part of something. I suppose there was 3 or 4 months there where you were going for a few runs on your own, and you were kind of, the motivation to get out wasn't there at times, and just to be able to go puck a ball with someone that's able to push you on and give you a bit of advice or give you a bit of positive vibes is huge. And I suppose as humans we depend on personal touch, so please God in the next few months we'll all be able to get out and get a night out, get back at it.
I hear you. It feels like an impossible thought right now, but of course it will happen again, you know. I mean, you got to hang on to that. Yeah. Well, listen, best of luck for the next couple of weeks. Hope it all goes well. Stay safe. Obviously, I mean, I say the next couple of weeks. It's high wire act now. Like, you're either through or you're out. That's an unusual start an unusual start for you guys. Proper knockout now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but look, we just have to take every week as it comes and do the best we can and be grateful. Okay.
Well, listen, it's Clare in Thurles, a Munster quarter-final knockout on Sunday, and you were here with thanks to Littlewoods Ireland. Cian Lynch, always great to talk to you. Keep it going. Best of luck. Thanks
very much, Sean. Thank you.